no site plan. The site plan was for the pool and the addition of the house.
I didn't know.
Not
Because,
for the fence.
okay,
Yes,
so,
yes.
and that is one of the things that is required for an application, because, and I'll give a little bit of information as to I think why, is because we would not ever want to be put in the position where we approved a fence for someone that was on someone else's property. And that's why I asked that question of you, Mr. Nichols. Was there a site plan? And so it's more of a protection for a board decision.
There seems to be some debate amongst the board and Dick as to property line versus not property line.
Right.
I don't see where that argument's coming from.
The argument, what argument?
As to whether, there seems to be a question about, well, it's not on the property line, so it's not subject to ARB. And Jan's comments about, well, but you can see it from the street. I mean, what's the issue there?
I would say that
as it relates to the guidelines.
I would say that it is a fence, and I think there is some basis for having a review, and that is. But my mention of the site plan was strictly to see where the fence was located in the context of where the property was,
Right.
Because then you get into the issue of, you know, neighbors and that sort of thing.
And Mr. Vernon, my comment was, he said it's his backyard and he should be able to do what he wanted to. That's the reason I said it was visible from the street.
Gotcha. I see. I misunderstood where.
Okay.
I mean, and no, in my mind, there's no question. Fences, period, are subject to review by the architectural review board, regardless if they're in the middle of the property, front of the property, rear side, wherever.
Well, we have a request to approve a fence, and we have a request to approve a gate, and so we would treat those as two different entities because they are two different entities. Okay. Any other discussion?
There is a temporary structure there as well. Has that been approved?
No.
No.
Is that structure subject to review board?
I would say the building official, that's something that the building official needs to, because that too has been brought up that it looks like it is not. I don't know. I don't have a. It is a temporary structure, but it's been there longer than for over a year. So it's, to me, it would need some type of review to continue to exist in the form that it does now, where it's actually tied down.
The tarps, not that, I don't have a question about that, because any of us that have a boat oftentimes have tarps draped over our boats, and that is clearly, even in the best of our minds, temporary. Even though mine may stay there all winter,
Right.
but it's still temporary. But there is a wooden structure, which is not unlike the gate, the arbor on the other side, that is in a permanent kind of state. And I don't know that it needs to be addressed, I'm just raising the question. There's a wood frame adjacent to the gate
Oh, yeah.
that the
The one that's attached.
tarps are attached to. The tarps are temporary in my mind, I don't have a question about that. You know, whether he keeps his yard neat as a pin or not neat as a pin, that's not our responsibility.
No.
But structures are.
And that was the one that I brought up. It was the June meeting, at the last meeting, the fact that that had been there, and it's been there for over a year. And I know you work under it, Mr. Newcomb, but it's, if something happened, God forbid, that structure could go flying in your next door neighbor's yard too, because it is basically tied to a tree to hold it up.
It's not tied, it's cable. That ain't going in.
But that's not our purview.
And if it's a windstorm, it
What,
comes down.
Whether or not it blows on the neighbor or,
the pieces of wood?
that's not
Well,
our.
we have had applicants come before the board with fences insubstantial and it could possibly cause a problem. And we have sent, building and planning has gone to those owners and just said, something's got to be done with it.
And that's a building department issue.
Right, right.
Yes.
That is a building department issue. He did not include this temporary structure in his application.
So that's an issue the building department needs to address,
Right,
with the
right.
structure, it needs to come to,
If it
bring
needs,
it to our
if it
attention.
needs to be made more substantial, it needs to be, that needs to be something that the building official needs to act on. Okay. Any more discussion? All right, so, the first item that we will discuss will be we'll ask for, is there a motion with regard to the fence at 113 Meeting Street?
I make a motion to approve the fence at 113 Meeting Street, as outlined in section 11, subject to, at section 11 fences, as well as subject to section 20 mechanical systems, where lattice is specifically recommended as a screen.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Ms. Brown?
Mr. Vernon,
Yes.
Mr. Hugh,
Yes.
Ms. Lane,
No.
Mr. King.
Yes. The next item up for consideration is the gate that has been installed in conjunction with this fence. The gate is not specifically addressed, Mr. Vernon, in the guidelines. It is assumed that it is part of a fencing system.
Then I make a motion to approve the gate as part of the fence, subject to section 11.
Second.
Mr. Vernon,
Yes.
Mr. Hugh,
Yes.
Ms. Lane,
No.
Mr. King.
No. There's no other business, to have a motion to adjourn.
I made the motion.
I have a question before we second that. Two things. One, how am I supposed to get in and out if I don't have an approved gate? Number two, I thank you.
But we did approve the gate.
No.
No, you
No,
did.
you
It's
did
a
not.
2-2 tie, so.
Another tie vote.
Tie vote, so that doesn't mean it went anywhere. However, just to put the board on notice, doesn't really matter what y'all did here today because you've gone beyond your 45-day limit since I applied for this on May 3rd. 45 days was up Sunday, and so therefore this meeting didn't mean anything. Everything was passed by because you didn't have my approval to go beyond the 45-day limit. So I thank you very much, and I will keep my fence and my gate and my structure. Thank you very much.
Can we address this?
I'll let the building department.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have a second to adjourn?
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.